What is up, YouTube fam? Robbie C here. Welcome into day 23 of Vlogmas. Today we're going to find out, finally, for the year 2023, did I actually gain any distance? Cowboy hat's not on because we're getting serious, but of course we're going to say, hey, how you doing today, Wesley? Are you having a good one? We posted a video at the beginning of the month talking about where we were at in terms of distance and speed averages and things like that. And then on day 16, we showed the new game plan of, hey, we have these heavyweight dunes. And don't worry, I read some of your comments, people saying like, I don't think that's heavy enough. I think you're heading in the right direction, but you need to go heavier. All very helpful. I always appreciate y'all when you come in the comments and leave constructive criticism and want to have a healthy discussion. Because I saw this feedback, I actually reached out to Jesse and was like, yo, dude, these yellow ones are fantastic, but any chance we could go a little heavier, any options there? And Jesse was all, yo, what up, my brother? Happy to do that. Let's see what we could cook up in the lab and get you something special and nice. And that is how we got these. Now these are clear dunes that come in at 185 grams, which is several grams heavier than the other dunes that I'm throwing. And considering that I'm really trying to use this to not only maximize how far I'm throwing mid-ranges, but I'm really looking to get that distance driver practice. At 185 grams, these are at least 10 grams heavier than any distance driver that I'd be using. And most of the distance drivers that I'm throwing on backhand are in the 167 to 168 range, which means that these are 17 to 18 grams heavier than what I'm currently throwing, which is a lot of weight to be adding. Got these a couple weeks ago and I've been using them in place of the yellow ones. Still using the yellow ones mixed in there. I'm usually going like 3 clear and then a yellow, and I do that for my standard routine. And then for the last 5 throws of my pitch count, I've been pulling out tech disc and seeing what the numbers are actually transferring. You didn't think we'd go a whole video without the cowboy hat, did you? We want to take a quick moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, MUDWTR. Now you know I love a good Diet Coke, but the more I drink, the more I think about the side effects of it. And so I've been replacing my afternoon refresh of energy with MUDWTR. Now while the flavor of MUDWTR may be a bit unique to some, you can fix it up and add just a little bit of honey to it. It takes that flavor to a whole new level, and I get through my afternoon without the jitteriness or crash that you might experience with Coke or coffee. Throw in the complimentary free frother, and I feel like a little barista in the afternoon. MUDWTR is a popular coffee alternative that's primary ingredient is rise cacao. In fact, its secret is the fact that it uses different types of mushrooms so that you get a fraction of the caffeine that you would get from coffee while still getting the natural energy boost, and you don't even have to deal with the jitteriness on the other side. Now, what are the ingredients? You've got cacao and chai for that hint of caffeine and that natural hot chocolate-like flavor. Lion's mane included for focus. It's got cordyceps to promote natural energy, and both chaga and reishi to boost that immune system. Plus, it's Whole30 approved, kosher. Y'all, this checks every single one of the boxes. Trust me, as someone who tried Whole30 alongside my wife, I was looking for a good tasting energy alternative, and MUDWTR checks all of the boxes. And the best part is that MUDWTR is hooking y'all up with a special discount for the holidays. By heading over to mudwtr.com/foundation, that's MUDWTR.com/foundation, you're going to get a host of prizes, especially when you use code GRATITUDE at checkout. Not only are you going to get up to a 47% discount, but you're also going to get the complimentary frother as well as a sample of the coconut creamer. I want to thank MUDWTR for sponsoring today's video, and y'all be sure to check them out for that healthy energy alternative at mudwtr.com/foundation. One more time, that's MUDWTR.com/foundation. Now, I also saw a comment that asked, where am I supposed to get that? I'm not seeing these overweight dunes on Jesse's website, and you'll notice that this one actually has a stamp that says not PDGA approved. But we got to have a reason to keep you guys around, not just for the distance. So we'll talk about how you can get your hands on these at the end of the video. We're going to keep this nice and simple, nice and straightforward. I've got my 4 heavy dunes, and I've got my 3 standard weight dunes. Throw these out into the field and see if the numbers lie or if we actually are throwing any further. Here are our averages of what we were looking at before. Let's see if we can beat it.
So here we are in the field, first rip with the dune. It seems like a grip lock because it moves off to the right. I think it could be argued that it was a grip lock, but these 2 dunes, I got over on them. I got my hit point. I feel like I threw these pretty far, and these both went, even though they went off screen. You can see this one standing up a little bit. These all went about 320, 330, which felt pretty good. I was excited about that. This one, straight rip, finally one that you can see on camera, and it's getting a lot of glide. It's getting a ton of push. That one went about 300. And so here, I don't get a hold of it. I don't hit it as well. I lose it behind, and it goes really straight, but not a very powerful throw. there once again, a little too much hyzer, and I lost it behind me, so didn't get where I wanted. You can see the frustration. Corrected here, and this was easily the farthest of the bunch. Went about 340, and it pushes out there. Had a nice height to it, a nice turn. So we reset right to get into it, reminding ourselves of the fundamentals and things we're looking at. So we go here and absolutely just shank it into the ground. Bad first throw. Starting to get them a little straighter, which is fine, but I'm getting them straighter at the sacrifice of feeling like I'm getting a good hit. So of those first three, none of them really felt like I had any power behind them whatsoever. Just felt like standard shots, and there my footing was a little slipped, and so that's why I went super nose up. Dead grass, not a fan. So now I'm focused on my footing, little low, don't feel like I got the power hit there, and it's just a theme. I could feel on this final set that I wasn't really getting any of the powerful hits that I was on the first one, and my powerful hits were going to the right. So definitely a factor that we got to consider. You can see the frustration here. Yeah, just so bummed.
Well, welcome to the raw. Welcome to the raw feeling. You kind of saw it there at the end of it. In talking with my coach, there's two things happening. One, to protect my elbow, I can't, there's the slingshot double move where you're, and that method, well, very athletic for sure. One thing that it's creating is that I think if you get so focused on being rubbery and slingshotty and all that jazz, what you can do is what I'm doing, where I feel like I'm actually hyperextending my elbow in order to create the elastic effect of you go pop, pop to feel the rubber band. You hyperextend in the backswing, so then when you go to pull through and you whip again, it's just so much tension on the elbows. And initial thoughts where I was grasping distance, I was doing a get to the target and then explode out the other side. But in order to create that explosivity, I have created so much pain in my elbow that I can't get it anymore. So we come up with another method, which is more of a closed feeling and focusing on the elbow and things like that. Distance is just a thing that plagues me. It's so frustrating because in talking with other coaches out there, it's like they've got the distance figured out, but they can't putt. And putting, they just can't get over the mental woes of putting, because I spent so much time working on my putting, but I cannot grasp distance to save my life. So I don't even have to measure the last throws because I know the landmarks they were at. I mean, it's 300. They're almost all of these drives are landing the exact same spot at 300. So fortunately, failed experiment here in terms of gaining distance, but I also am not quite confident that I've given it enough time and enough reps to actually see it, because I had to make an adjustment based on what I started seeing in the last few months. Is I've now created so much pain in my elbow that I've got to take a few weeks off of throwing, or else I'm going to end up taking months off because I'm going to injure myself. Frustrating. I'll add in a quick caveat that I by no means am I saying oh yeah, I worked with Coach T and he's the one that caused me to do this, and I'm not even really saying that I tried to implement what he's teaching over there on Slingshot. It was more so I was trying to let my body naturally find what it needed to do to find explosivity, and it went to that. When you take that method or that idea of the rubber band and all that to the extreme without proper precautions, you can end up hurting yourself. So thus leaving me with really two results when it comes to my throws are I end up frustrated, so then rather than focusing on smooth speed, I end up getting frustrated, so then I try to throw hard. And when I throw hard, I either have what kept happening on that last set of throws where I lose the disc behind me, so I have no power behind the shot whatsoever, or I stay in it and we actually tap into the power and the potential that's there, which you saw in the first throws, but it ends up holding on a little too long and I over rotate and then I just rip it off to the right. So it's like throwing a shot down the middle. There's pretty much no way for me to get a straight shot with power right now based on where my form's at. Good news is really silver linings to end the year out, because we'll start with the bad lining, which is we didn't really see that much of a distance increase there. We're throwing these about 300, 310. Yeah, no different than before. I think part of that you can blame on the fatigue of the body. Part of that you can blame on switching. So I'd never really solidified something to let it settle. But with the holidays, I'm not going to have the time, because we are the people that our families, my wife and I's families, live about an hour away from each other. So rather than resting on the holidays, we travel for the holidays and end up playing the ping pong back and forth around town. We'll be doing that, so I won't really have time to throw that much over the next 2 weeks anyways, so my arm will get the chance to rest. But if you are interested in these heavyweight dunes, while they are not available right now, they are not PDGA approved, so you can't use them during tournaments, and they're stamped accordingly so that that's known. But these already have dropped to patrons, if you're a Trash Panda patron, so these are available to them, but these are going to drop at the beginning of the year in 2024. So be on the lookout, Trash Panda's website, for these heavy dunes if you want to join me in making sure that we put in the work, continue grinding to try and gain some distance. Does mean that we're not going to be diving into any tournaments at the beginning of next year. Continue to put in the work and try to get this solved, because I can't willingly sign up for a tournament knowing that I cannot throw hard shots straight. That my only options to throw hard shots straight are to throw such understable discs on extreme amounts of hyzer, but even that has the issue of I'm gonna grip lock stuff way off to the right. What's not a bummer is that we're done with today's video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully these videos, where I'm just raw in my frustration of wanting to find distance. I throw frisbees so many times, so the habits that I have to overcome are just insane. That's not an excuse, that's just the reality. That's what I have to deal with. Rather than thinking that there are thousands of people critiquing me, I'll lean into the positive that there are thousands of people on my side, excited for when we finally start throwing bombs. Because I do taste it, I do feel it, I feel that potential. So hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great rest of your day. Please make it fantastic for someone else too. Merry Christmas weekend, and we will see you tomorrow, Christmas Eve, for day 24. But for now, we're gonna leave you with the birdie.